this episode, you're going to see me take this thing to the dyno. This is actually the day before I'm taking it to the dyno, so I have no idea if it's going to be good or bad, but I think it'll probably be pretty good. We'll find out. Doing a little bit of maintenance before I take it up there. The other day I took this thing to a real small car show locally and pulled out of the garage. There was a puddle of oil like that, real thin, but it was spread out about like that area. And crawled under the truck real quick, afraid of maybe an oil pan gasket or rear main or something let loose. But the only sign of any oil was on the oil filter, and it's the PF48. They're somewhat notorious for causing leaks and oil pressure issues. In fact, at the shop I work at, we had one whole bad box of PF48s where about every one we put on a truck came back with a low oil pressure issue. We put a new filters on it out of a different batch. Fixed every one of them. These things are also notorious for leaking too around the seams, so gonna put me a new filter on. Got me another quart of oil, so I'll top the oil off, put this in, hook up my wideband, and I'll be headed up there around noon tomorrow. So hopefully this thing turns out. 500 plus horsepower with the rear wheels. Pete's thinking around 550. So if he's right, I told him I'd give him a bonus because that would be super exciting to get 550 horse. It is a Mustang dyno, so they're not exactly friendly on the dyno numbers, but I'm anxious. I'm very anxious to see this thing. So anyways, enjoy this video and see what happens. Alright, we're at the dyno at Longview Community College where Pete works, and we're fighting NOx sensors and air-fuel ratios right now, up above about 4,500, so we're doing some tweaking. We've only done one little small pull. It made 458, so the torque's going way down above 4,500 because it's pulling so much timing. So we're going to do some more tweaking on it. Pete's redeeming.
This is the hero pass. Let's see what 1 degree of timing can do. I don't know. I'm not quite sold on. Well, it's going to be 2 degrees if the intake air temps still stay down. Alright, we're going for the hero pass. Hopefully it's not ugly and pistons shattered everywhere. You got it, man.
I didn't get to do much talking during the dyno session. We were too busy working on this thing. The dyno numbers were disappointing for me at least, and I'm sure Pete too. We ran 468 pound-feet of torque and 465 horsepower at the wheels. It's about 50 horsepower less than I honestly thought it would make, and it's actually basically what a stock Z06 makes. Granted, a stock Z06 has a manual trans, so they're not losing as much through the transmission. So I think something is wrong, and I think the camshaft might be wrong. The cam I bought for this thing, I bought it on eBay, and it was supposed to be a GM Stage 3 cam. The box was open when I got it. The guy said he never used it, which the cam looked new when I got it. But I wonder if I got duped and they did a cam swap. So my next step, I'm going to pop the left side valve cover off this thing, since that's the easiest one to get off, and measure my lift. If I have a stock lift, I know I got a stock cam. Looking at all the dynographs I've seen, now this engine is dying off at 5,000 RPM. It's done basically making power. The torque goes way up real quick, and then at 5,000 RPM it just dies off. So something isn't right. I don't know if it's the intake or what, but I'm going to do some more research on it and find out what's wrong. Maybe nothing's wrong. Maybe it's just the design I have done on this intake. Maybe the intake's not as good as what everyone says it is. But something I think is wrong. So I'm going to dig into it further, see if I can't find a problem. I'm hoping it's the camshaft. Hope I got duped on it, as bad as that sounds. But that's what I'm going to do now. We'll see what it looks like. Alright, I put a dial indicator on my lift, or the push rod back here. I took the rocker arm off and measured the lift at the lobe, because it was hard to get an accurate reading on the rocker arm because I was wanting to push down the lifters. So I measured the lift at essentially the lobe of the cam and multiplied that by my rocker ratio, and I got exactly the lift that this cam was supposed to have that I bought. So the cam was right. Then my next thought was ls3 rockers and ls7 rockers to the naked eye look the same unless you have them side by side. I thought maybe someone had done a switcheroo on me because, like I said, every part on this engine is used or bought secondhand. And I had another ls3 rocker I compared it to. It is definitely an ls7 rocker. So, got some more figuring out to do. Alright, after doing some research online and some watching other dyno videos and stuff, and what other people have had problems with on their dyno numbers, I think my main problem is my 2.5-inch exhaust. From what I've read online, 2.5-inch exhaust is good up to about 400 wheel horsepower. So I should be around 630-ish or so at the crank. So I would think I'd be around low 500s at the wheels. So my next step is going to be change my 2.5-inch exhaust out from behind the header collector, which the header collector is 3-inch. I stepped it down right after the collector back down to 2.5-inch. So I'm going to run all new exhaust out the sides. I'm probably going to get rid of the dual side pipes, and I'll probably run like an oval pipe out the side on each side, just to make sure I'm getting plenty of airflow going out. And I'm really considering making it out of aluminum for weight purposes and for hopefully sound deadening. I think the aluminum will absorb more sound. And I'm not sure if I'm going to buy mufflers or build my own, but that's going to be the next step in this project. Also, I bought some 2013 Mustang hood vents. As you can see, they have like little screens right there that kind of restrict the airflow. So I took one of them and I got those screens out. They actually they're glued in, so I just popped them off and the glue broke off on them. So that's what I'm left with. I'm going to put these on the hood to help get the heat out from underneath the hood. I'm going to put them right above the velocity stacks on there. So I'm going to try and find a spare hood somewhere at the junkyard and use that to practice on before I cut this hood up. I'm sure I'm going to have to repaint part of it, if not all of it, but I'm going to do that too. But I'm more concerned right now about getting the exhaust right. And that'll happen as soon as I get done with I have a 55 Chevy up here on this lift. It's my dad's car. And then I'm working on another car over there I just bought. Transmission was out of it, so that's kind of one of the ways I make my money to play with my toys. I buy cars for cheap that are broke, and I fix them and make some cash selling them that way. But anyways, thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe.